Alright, my dears, so this is going to be step 2 of how to analyze a primary source. And the more I thought about the last video that I made with my horrible handwriting, as you guys remember, I thought, why on earth would I do 3 paragraphs when I can have my amazing kiddos prove to me how efficient they are at marking the text? And before anybody gets in a huff about it, yes, this has a little bit to do with the fact that I don't want to mark all 3. But it mostly has to do with the fact that perfect practice makes perfect. And you guys are going to be perfect come time that we have our DBQs and that we have any other reading and writing assignments. And there will be many. So, I'm going to go ahead and mark the text for only paragraph 1 right now. And let's go ahead and get going on that, okay? So first I have to read it through, as you guys remember, hopefully. So, for document A, the text is the Kingdom of Angkor. Again, our paragraph 1 says, the officials and the common people dwell in houses with sized bamboo matting and thatched with reeds. Only the king resides in a palace of hewn stone. It has a granite lotus pond of extraordinary beauty with golden bridges, some 300-odd feet long. The palace buildings are solidly built and richly ornamented. The throne on which the king sits is made of Gwaru wood and the 7 precious substances. The dais is jeweled with supports of veined wood, possibly ebony. The screen behind the throne is of ivory. So you'll notice first that I already have some stuff underlined in here. I figured that I would go ahead and make your guys' lives easier since I'm not going to do the first 3 paragraphs. I went ahead and marked our main claim for each of the paragraphs for this text so that if you guys are struggling at all, you know what to be looking out for. And basically, well, we'll cover that in step 3. So step 1, I already numbered the paragraphs for you guys too. Step 2, I am going to highlight in blue the officials, right? And I'm highlighting the officials because that is a group of people right there. It's not the official name, but I still need to know who I'm talking about in this. So I've got the officials and I've got the common people. Those are the 2 groups of people that I see as of right now in this first sentence. And then if I keep going, I see the king. And the king is obviously a person, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that too. While we're not talking about someone specific right now in a primary source, especially one that's informing us, we do want to pick out terms like this because it just gives us more context onto what we're reading in this specific paragraph. And I see king here again, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that again. I don't see any places or dates on here, so I'm done with step 2. Step 3, I already underlined only the king resides in a palace. Now I underline this, why? Okay. Hopefully we took a second to think about this, and we know that I highlighted this because the majority of this paragraph is about the king's palace. Only 1 sentence references common people. The rest of it right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 5 of my sentences are about the king and his palace. So I can assume that this entire thing will be about the king, which means my main idea, or the main claim of the author, is going to be only the king resides in a palace. Again, because that's just our main focus in here. Alright, our supporting details of the author's claim. Well, I already have the claim, but you guys will see that I underlined different parts of this too. And that is because those are our supporting details. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this in yellow. And first let's read it. It says, the throne on which the king sits is made of Gwaru wood and the 7 precious substances. The dais is jeweled with supports of veined wood, possibly ebony. The screen behind the throne is of ivory. Okay. So the throne on which the king sits, this is my supporting detail right here, and I just want to go over what makes this a supporting detail really, really quick. So I'm getting a little bit concerned that sometimes when we're doing these readings, we're doing them so quickly that we're not focusing on the obvious information in front of us. So if our main claim is only the king resides in the palace, our supporting details of this claim, it's not going to be that the king has a granite lotus pond. It's not going to be that there are extraordinarily beautiful golden bridges that are some 300 odd feet long. This is not our claim, our supporting detail, because it doesn't support our claim specifically. So if I'm saying only the king resides in a palace, notice that this right here says the throne on which the king sits. It specifies the king sits on this throne. Awesome. So I know that the throne is only for the king. Well, that sounds a lot like my main claim, doesn't it? The palace is only for the king too. So that's why this right here in yellow is our supporting detail, because it directly speaks to our main claim. Okay. Hopefully I talked in circles about that enough for you guys. If you have questions about specific supporting details for a reading, please reach out to me. Again, these are going to be in your DBQs and you have to find relevant information on your own. So if you're not understanding this practice right now, go ahead, email me, stop this right now, go to Zoom, and I'll help you out, okay? And our last step, we are going to be looking for the words that we do not know. So I'm going to go ahead and get our lilac again. So let's see. I'm just going to you guys can follow my mouse right now, and we're going to scroll through here, and I'm saying matting and thatch. Well, most of us know what matting is, but thatched, that might be a new one for some of you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't 200% sure on what thatched was either before I looked it up for this reading. So I already have our box down here for us. I'm going to put thatched. And when I looked up thatched, it said that it was a covering for a roof or a building made out of straw or similar material. So I'm going to say covering made of straw, and I'll put right here, or similar material. So I know that it doesn't always have to be straw. It can be something else like straw, but generally that's what thatched is. All right, so back to paragraph 1. Thatched I highlighted for us. Let's see. Granite lotus, extraordinary beauty. We all know what that means. Palace building, solidly built. Ooh, look at this one, ornamented. If you do not know what ornamented means, I do not blame you. It's one of those words, if we just think about it in the context that we already know, we can figure out pretty quickly what it means. So an ornament, if all of us celebrate Christmas, you're going to get this, and if not, I'll add the definition for you so you know what it is. But an ornament is something we generally put on the tree. So if an ornament is something we put on the tree to make it pretty, I can assume and deduct using logical reasoning, because we're all geniuses in here, that it is a decoration. So I'm going to try to replace decoration for ornamented right now in here. I'm going to say, the palace buildings are solidly built and richly decorated. That totally works. So I'm going to keep that definition of ornamented for us. And then the last term that I highlighted as I went through, and this might be different for some of you, and that's okay if your definition list has more on it than mine. I think that it should. If you guys are telling me you know everything in this reading already and your vocab boxes are coming back to me empty, you better believe there's going to be a quiz or some kind of random cold call in which I ask you to tell me what everything means in your own words, okay? So I highlighted dais, and when I looked up dais, because yes, I had to look it up, it means that it is a platform that a throne goes on, but not a big platform. So I'm going to say slightly raised platform for a throne. And does that match up right here? Let's see. The slightly raised platform for a throne is jeweled. So instead of dais, if I put my definition in and it still works, I know that I'm working with the correct definition here. So that is how you mark the text for paragraph 1. I expect you guys to do 2 through 9, and I already numbered it for you, and you've got everything else you need, so good luck, okay?